So for this assignment, we're going to be drawing the studio apartment. I would definitely move your camera into the top view since we will be doing a floor plan. We are in the top view, but we also need to be in parallel projection. That gives us a straight on view. We can start with our line tool. We're going to start at the origin and we're going to go in we're going to stay on the green axis. I'm going to do the 39 overall feet and then click enter. Zoom out so I can see it a little bit better. I'm going to go in this direction, 64 feet. And I'm getting these measurements from the drawing that I did upload to the Google Classroom. And it's 39 feet on both ends and 64 on both ends. So I'm just going to bring it all the way back to the red axis and then close it. Now we'll get our surface. So now I'm going to use the offset tool and I'm going to hover over the surface. I'm going to click and I'm going to do the walls inside because the dimensions show the walls included. So let me go ahead and measure real quick what I made these walls. And these walls are 6 inches. So I'm going to type 6 inches and click enter. So those are 6-inch walls. Don't forget that we need to do the other walls and then we will bring up the walls in 3D. So we have 2 rooms in this corner. And we have the walls from this corner going in this direction, 14 feet 6 inches. Enter. I'm going to kind of hover over and look for that endpoint. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this wall down. Now this wall down says it goes down 2 feet plus 4 feet plus 6 feet 6 inches. So I'm just going to add them together. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 feet 6 inches. So when I want to go in a straight line on the green axis, 12 feet 6 inches. I'm going to click enter. And now I'm going to bring this back over here. And from this point, we go over 16 feet. And then I'm going to bring this down. If we hover over it, it should kind of snap it in. If not, you can do the 12 feet 6 inches. And then close it in. So from this point, our wall is going to be 6 inches. So I'm going to go 6 inches this way because on the drawing, it shows not this way, but this way on our left. I'm going to go over 6 inches. And bring it down. Now I could have started from this point as well, but it just wouldn't, I would have had to erase that line. And now this needs a thickness as well. So we're going to start from this point and we're going to go up 4 inches because our interior walls are 4 inches. Now this is an interior wall too, but that's a plumbing wall. And then we're going to go 4 inches on this side as well. So I just want to delete these lines because we don't need them. Okay, so these are all the walls in the studio apartment. Now we're going to go ahead and do doors and windows. I'm going to start with the front door right over here. So from this point down in this direction, we need to go 19 feet 6 inches. And we have a 3-foot opening for the door because all exterior doors are 3 feet. And that's going to be our door. Well, actually, delete that line. Delete this line. We don't make our openings yet. We just pull up the doors. Sorry, we just pull up the walls. Okay, so now we're going to use our orbit tool. We're not going to do doors and windows yet. And we're going to see how it kind of looks a little weird. We're going to go back to our perspective view. We're going to get our selection tool. And we're going to go ahead and deselect the surfaces of where the floor would be. So all I do is select the surface and click delete on my keyboard. And now we're left with this. So I would just go ahead and get your selection tool and click and hold it all the way down and then let it go and it'll select all the edges. So the solid lines are edges and the ones with the little dots are surfaces. It'll select all your edges and surfaces. We can right click and we can make this a group. So if I click off, notice how once I click it, now it's a group, it'll all select with just one click of a button. So we're going to come to our tags and we're also going to make a new tag. We're going to click the plus button that says add tag and we're going to type walls. We're going to have a tag that's walls and we want this to be on that tag. So if you select it, you can see in your entity info, if this is not here for any reason, you could always right click and click entity info and this should pop up. Make sure it's selected. It shows that it's untagged and you want to put it under the walls tag. So you can make sure you did it correctly. If you click the little eyeball, it should turn off and on because it's under the walls tag. Okay. Now you can see once we click, it's a group. In order to enter a group, you have to double click. So anything that we do to this will not change unless you're inside of the group. So you need to double click inside the group and we need to raise the walls. So we're going to raise the walls with the push and pull tool and the push and pull tool pushes and pulls surfaces. So we're going to push, make sure we hover over the surface, which is the little dots, click it, and we want to pull up in that direction. So we're going to go ahead and make these walls 10 feet high. And we're going to click enter. Okay, now is where we can definitely start making the doors and windows. Let me go ahead and explain the group real quick. I'm going to get the selection tool. See how everything is kind of blurred out and it shows this boundary of what's inside the group. If we click off, now we're outside of the group because when you click it, it'll highlight blue whatever's inside the group. So if I want to edit this, I cannot edit it until I double click inside the group. And now I can edit the walls. And that goes for any group. So now we have a door and it's going to be right here up in the front. So the door was, I'm going to look at it like this from the outside. The door was 19 feet 6 inches from that corner. Click enter. So if I hover, you're going to find the end point and we're just going to go all the way down on a line. So look at this one right here. It's blue. So we want to make sure that we are on the blue axis. That means it's up and down. Okay, once we have this point, we're going to go over 3 feet. So this is just meaning that our door is 3 feet wide. So from that point, I'm going to go over 3 feet and then look for the end point And remember to stay on our blue axis because up and down is blue. So now our front door is going to be 8 feet. So from this bottom point, I want to go up 8 feet now. Click enter, look for that endpoint, select, and then click at that endpoint. So now if you get your selection tool, you can see that that's a surface. And if you did the lines on the axis correctly, you will have the surface. If you don't see this, you need to go select the lines individually, delete them individually, and do it over again. So you're going to select the surface, you're going to get your push and pull tool, and you're going to push until you see like that looking thing, and then you're going to click, and then it'll push out a hole for your door. Then you can go get the selection tool, select that line, and click delete on your keyboard. Select this line, click delete on your keyboard, and now you have a flush wall with your door opening. So we're going to work on all the other door openings and window openings. And again, remember that all these door and window openings have to be done inside the group or else it will not make a hole inside the walls. Because like I said, if you're not inside the group, it will not edit the walls. So I'm going to show you a quick example. Don't do this, but I'm going to click outside the group. Let's say I wanted to do a window right here. I'm going to push and pull, and it's just going to make a huge, this is what it's going to look like. If that happens to you, you're probably not inside the group because nothing's going to happen to the wall since I'm not inside the group. I'm just drawing outside of it. So I'm going to Control Z to go back, Control Z to delete it. And we'll go back to drawing what we need to. Get the selection tool, double click to get inside the group. And now we're going to go ahead and make this door. So from this point, the interior point, over, it's going to be 10 feet 6 inches. Okay, now what happens is it makes like a surface because we kind of closed in the surface right here. You can just get your selection tool, select it, and delete it because we don't need a surface on top. So I'm going to get my pencil tool again, then hover to see where that endpoint was. And it was right here. So just like the front door, we're going to make sure we stay on that blue axis. And I have a 3-foot door. I'm going to select it. I'm going to go over 3 feet. And again, it's going to do that. Just select it and delete that surface. I'm going to select that endpoint, bring it down. And now the door is 8 feet tall. From the bottom, I'm going to go up 8 feet. And then just like we did the front door, get our push and pull tool, push out so you see that little, however it looks, I don't know how to explain it, click, and we can delete these lines. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to the next opening. This is not a door, it is just an opening. And from this point now, I'm going to take it over in this direction, 6 feet, 9 inches. I'm going to make sure it goes down. And then the opening is 4 feet, 4 feet. And then I'm going to go down on the blue axis, push through that surface, and make the hole. Now I can go ahead and delete this line. And that's our opening. So the dashed lines are openings. And then this one, if you look on the floor plan, you can see the door symbol. That's a door. Now from this point in, we're going to go 2 feet. Delete that surface. Find that end point of where the 2 feet was, and we're going to go down. Now from this point over, we're going to go over 4 feet for the opening. Oops, that probably was wrong. Oh no, it was correct. So we're going to find the 4-foot, the end point of the 4-foot opening, and bring it down on the blue axis. And again, this is only 8 feet tall. So from the bottom, we're going to go up 8 feet. And we're going to close it in. Make sure that surface is there. Get our push and pull tool and push it through. Then you can delete all these other lines. Now we're going to move to these openings and windows over here. We're going to grab our pencil tool. And we're going to be looking, let's orbit so we can look on the outside of it. From this outside point, we're going to go in 1 foot 6 inches. You're going to go down. From that point, we're going to go over 4 feet. And go down. From this point, we're going to go 2 feet, 6 inches. And then find that end point and go down. Then go over 4 feet. We're going to go over another 2 feet, 6 inches. Find the end point, hover over, and go all the way down. Stay on the blue axis. And we're going to do one more 4 feet. Find that end point, bring it down on the blue axis. And now from this point, we're going to go over 7 feet, 6 inches. We're going to go all the way down in the blue axis, end it there. And then we are going to, from this point, go over 6 feet. Click and bring it down on the blue axis. Now just on one end, we are going to go from here all the way up 8 feet. We're going to go all the way over. So now we can delete all these lines. And all I am doing is selecting them and clicking delete on my keyboard. This one is just going to be a sliding door. So we're just going to make the opening for it like a normal door. But these are going to be windows. So we need to we can't just push right here. So from this point, we're going to go up. I'm going to bring it up 2 feet. Hover to find the end point and bring it all the way over. Select these lines to delete. And now we can get our push and pull tool, hover over that surface, click, and push an opening out. Hover, click, push, hover, click, push. And now we have our door openings and our walls for this studio apartment.